Hey, what's up, guys? So, it is July 23rd, 2018. I'm not even sure what to say, to be quite honest, guys. It's been 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 years of IO coins basically being alive. I mean, this blockchain has been amazing. The work that we've been doing in the past 4 years has just been amazing. And to basically see every day all these projects, that are basically ICOing $100 million, $200 million, and can't even get the blockchain to work, can't even get anything to actually work properly. It goes to show you guys that the team for this blockchain has been doing an amazing job since day one. And right now I have up, I have our website up, and we have an announcement. Basically, we will be coming out with our updated wallet. Right now we're in Sirius, and we're going to go to Aurora. Aurora will be out in the next, I think, in about 2 to 3 weeks, and that will come with an update of our voting mechanism. We've been talking about this for a while now, and we want to give our community basically the possibilities of voting in the blockchain. So, I mean, that's going to be amazing. Now our community is going to be able to basically put things up for vote. And that's basically how we see our future on how we're going to be managing our blockchain. We want our community to be engaged. We want people to basically come into our community and basically have a small part on how we push things moving forward in the next years. I just want to quickly go into our Explorer and just show you guys our first block right there, if you could see it. And you can actually go to the IO Coin Explorer and check this out. It was July 23rd, 2014. That was our first block, 0 to 9. 5,000 IOCs were generated by miners. And as we pull back and we go to the first 100K blocks, you could see how we had that mining period. It started, as it always starts in mining. A lot of people get excited. Everybody wants to come into mine. So the initial IOCs were mined by the miners, and then slowly it went down in hash, mining power. And then in a 2-week period, we had all those miners basically generating all those IOCs. Miners then went ahead and Bittrex. I got to send a shout out to Bittrex. I mean, we've been alive for 4 years, and they've been around for 4 years, and that was one of our first places where we were able to have our coin accepted. So Bittrex was around at that time, and that's how it all started. Now, if we pull back to all time here in our chart, there it is. That's the old time chart. You guys can see how we have just leveled out throughout all the time, and then the last 10K blocks. This is where we're currently at, and as you can see, IOCs being generated are slowly going up. But the only way you can generate IOC is by having your wallet staking. We're not a proof of work coin, we're a proof of stake coin. And if I go back to the first 10K blocks, it'll show you there. Instead of doing an ICO, which is what people do nowadays, the group that's in charge of launching that I would say that blockchain, what they do is basically they generate their coins, they sell them for Bitcoin, and then they basically hold a certain amount of coins without being mined, without doing any type of work. And then that particular centralized team owns, let's say, 10-20% of all the coins, and then they give out the rest of the coins, they sell them, they generate all that income, and then they claim to people, or they tell people, hey, we're going to work for the money that you guys have given us, or the Bitcoin that you guys have given us. In about a year or a few months, we'll have something working for you guys. So here it is. They give the people the coins, and then they hold that amount of coins. Sometimes they hold 50%, which in POS, it's not something that should be done. It's basically that foundation is basically being attacking their own chain. That is not the way it should be launched. So in IOC, we did not launch that way. It was not an IOC. It was a public launch blockchain, just like Bitcoin. So in the beginning, miners came in, they mined IOC, and then they basically put it up on Bittrex. And some people gave it away, some people donated it, some people wanted to have some Bitcoin for it, or whatever the case might have been, or maybe another currency if they would have done it in a private exchange. And that's how IOCoin started. It was a whole bunch of developers, and I'll go to GitHub in just a second and show you guys. But at the time, you know, we had Rat4, Doug was one of them, myself, Derek, and I mean Matt. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people that contributed to the actual IOCoin blockchain as it started, as in the Genesis block right before there. We were all there. But from that whole entire team, there has been, the core team has been with IOC all along, and that's something to be proud of. And since day one, this chain has been working. We had a QT wallet at the beginning, and you guys can actually go to the announcement thread. We no longer have, let me see, are you page 16 here on the end thread of what was going on at the time. I think some people were thinking that we weren't even going to come out with the actual coin. It was kind of funny what they were talking about at that time. Some people didn't know, you know, if we were even a real thing or not, if it was fake, if there was a pre-mine. All those myths have been long gone. We have proven that we were here to stay. We actually did our job, launched the chain. People had the QT wallet. And then at some point during the life of IOC, we said, hey, we're going to move away from this QT wallet. And I'm just kind of scrolling to the pages of the end thread. You guys can go through it later. But just to show, you know, the people how this whole thing started. It wasn't like a page with an ICO. It was an actual public release back in 2014. And, you know, the community at that time, they were just, you know, going back and forth talking. Who is the dev team right there? They were actually asking because there was a lot of developers, you know. And I'm going to see if I find a page where we actually then show off our HTML5 wallet, which did not look like the way it looks today. And I'm just kind of scrolling through. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them up, and I'll be looking at them right there on YouTube messaging, and you can leave them there. I'm going to try to be here as long as I can because today's our birthday. So I just want to make sure that we give time to people to come in. So I'm just kind of scrolling through for the new people that are coming in. I'm just kind of scrolling through to see if I can get to the page where we had our HTML5 wallet. It's somewhere around here. I should have had it prepared, but hey, you know what? It's an AMA, and this is for our community. But it's good to show this so that people could see. I mean, look, October 17, 2014, people were talking back then on how this would all go. And when we launched, we basically said, hey, guys, we're going to try to make a blockchain where people can actually come in and send IOC to one another utilizing usernames at the time, you know, pseudonyms. And the way we did it, which was called Ions, we utilized like a centralized server. So we were having all these names link up to the chain, and then people will register and send IOC to each other. But the actual wallet had to look at the centralized server to then check the name and see if it was valid, and then be able to send pegging to that pseudonym. Today, that's no longer the way it works. Today, we actually have all of our usernames, you know, which we call Dions. They're actually on the chain. You can register any name, any pseudonym, any document or anything that you may want. You could actually register and peg a document to it and actually upload it into the chain and peg it to that name. And then that would be yours attached to a private key. So again, we're just kind of going through, and I'm sorry because I should have had this ready, but I just, again, wanted to show, look at that, development up April 11, 2015. I mean, here we were doing an update and we were talking about both QT and HTML5 wallets. I mean, at that time, we were really, really young blockchain, just messing messing with things around, trying to make this HTML5 wallet work, which was not even a QT. And even today people don't even know QT. Well, that's the Bitcoin wallet, right? It was the core QT wallet. But today we have Ethereum. Okay, so it's kind of like Back to the Future. So today we have Ethereum. We have coins that are kind of like tokens. They don't even call them coins. So basically, they live on a blockchain. Let's just, for an example, call it Ethereum. And in there, people are able to make color coins. And within that, they have a set of HD wallets, which is basically a server. And that server has access to, checking those private keys from people. So people go and they put their private keys inside of this HD wallet, and basically gives you your amount of tokens that you have, and you can basically send them or use a mobile wallet. But currently a lot of these wallets, you have to utilize a server. For us here in IOCoin, we don't have HD wallets. All of our wallets are interconnected with one another. They're like nodes. They're actually like miners. They stake. They actually confirm transactions. So the actual function, sorry about this microphone, it was sideways. They actually have a functionality. So not only do they actually, confirm transactions, but they also have the capability of, like I said, registering for a username. And I'm going to just get out of the announcement thread just to show you on our website. This is the way our wallet looks today. So they have the capability of allowing the user to register a username, or maybe pegging a document to it. And even I mean, this is amazing what I'm about to say, but going to as far as having messaging, encrypted messaging within the blockchain, or completely decentralized. There is no centralized server. I mean, guys, from where we started, and again, and I'm going through all this announcement so you guys could see in the announcement thread, we wouldn't even be dreaming of saying, oh, well, we're going to have this messaging stuff. We were talking about usernames, but not all this stuff about documents and having them, being able to be stored on the chain, an actual document up to 1 megabyte, and then having the capabilities of sending it to another person on the chain. I mean, that's amazing stuff for a public blockchain, guys. I mean, all the work that we've been doing has been basically on our spare time. But for me, personally, I let go of my stuff that I had, in my life to dedicate to this blockchain pretty much 100% of my time. I don't live off most of the selling of the coins because thankfully I had a music career, so I get some of my income from that. And we've been fortunate sometimes they've been giving some donations out and stuff like that. But for me personally, it's been 100% IOC. Basically from 2 years ago when I started, I had a company. It was Mac Wizard. We were here in Florida, the state of Florida in the United States. And we basically were certified to work on Apple computers. And we did an amazing job. We have 5 stars. Company now has moved on to a new owner. And at the time we did IT support. We had big companies here in South Florida that we were responsible for. And, that's where I learned about Bitcoin back in the year 2010, 2011. And I learned a whole lot about proof of work, proof of stake, coins at the time that I can name off the top of my head. Peercoin, obviously that was one of the first proof of stake coins. Next coin, Black coin, and then Vericoin. So a lot of these coins, they were trying to show that you can actually secure a blockchain without having huge miners, like the ant miners and stuff like that to secure the blockchain. So it was kind of like, an experiment. After 4 years of all of these chains being alive, being secured, and not suffering any 51% attacks, and I'm talking about this older chain, right? I'm not talking about the newer chains. We have basically shown the world that proof of stake is just as secure, and I would say at sometimes even more secure than proof of work. Now, I'm going to get a lot of shade now because I said that. But the reason I say that is because, for example, and it's good the way we launched because it was we launched, people were able to mine it with this video cards. But nowadays, let's say you want to attack the chain, you would have to have a whole bunch of mining power, right? And if it's a proof of work chain and a whole bunch of miners get together, they want to attack, let's just say, a blockchain. Well, they could probably try to do something like that. For us, you have to actually have IOC. So if you have a wallet and you have 1,000 IOC and you're staking, you're going to confirm some transactions and possibly get what we call a reward. In Bitcoin, you would get what it is, a Bitcoin, but you would have to have a lot of mining power, and the difficulty rises, and so you have to buy more mining power, more mining. Same thing with the video cards. There's video card farms out there, to mine, either Litecoin and all that stuff. For us, you have to have IOC, put it in your wallet, and then you're going to be able to stake it, which is kind of like mining. And then that's how we secure our chain. Now, a 51% attack on proof of stake, a wallet would have to have at least currently possibly like 8 million to 9 million IOC in one wallet. And that's almost impossible unless everybody just basically sells and one person goes and buys it all. So at this point, after 4 years, it's pretty much impossible. A lot of our people have been staking, and I'm going to go ahead and go into this section, and it's called, the network section, call it extraction. And here, I'm going to pull it up right here. We have 44.5% of our coins. They're basically staking. They're not just being stored. Like, people are not just storing them doing nothing or cold storing it. They're actually confirming transactions. So we have about 8 million coins. They're completely distributed into a whole bunch of different wallets and different addresses. And that's a whole bunch of coins that are staking right now. The rest of the coins, they're currently either sitting on Bittrex. We're going to be now on DJAX, and we're going to Blockbit, or some of them may be in cold storage. So currently, again, we're at 44.5%. So for a proof of stake coin to have that amount of coins in stake, it means that the holders, the people that are actually staking these coins, truly believe in our future, in what we're doing. So, it's something to be proud of. Again, at certain times we're gonna have more wallet staking than other times, depending if people turn them off or they don't. But usually we have about 100 to 120 connections, and that fluctuates. Obviously, we have way more than that. We may have 700 to 800 different wallets all over the world, but because people turn them off and they turn it back on, so we fluctuate at times between 90 to 130 wallets staking. I'm gonna check your questions and see if I have any questions right now. I think I have a question right now from Joris. It's asking me about Chameleon. Sure, I'll talk to you about Chameleon. So, and I'll talk about that in just a second. To just get to the point that I was talking about, the staking, there comes a point, obviously, in the blockchains, and we said this from a very, very long time. We believe that one blockchain was not going to be able to do all the work that a lot of the people were talking at the time. They would say, well, one blockchain is going to be able to handle all the stuff. At the end of the day, a blockchain is basically like a database. And for our database, or ledger, if you want to call it like that, we basically concentrated in making sure that this chain would give users the possibility of, like I said before, registering names, pegging documents, actually uploading a document, being able to transfer that document to someone else in the blockchain, completely encrypted. And not only that, giving the people the messaging capability. So I always say this. We believe that our chain, the main IO coin chain, is a registrar blockchain. What it means is that it can be used to register identities and a whole bunch of other stuff. But then we said to ourselves, hey, what about, and we said this in 2015, and you guys can look at it in the IO coin announcement thread. We have a roadmap, and I'll pull it up right here if we go here in the roadmap section. And somebody asked me about Chameleon. Chameleon is right here. We have been pushing back Chameleon, and the reason has been that we haven't felt ready to launch our sidechain. That's basically what it is. Back in 2015, we said there will be multiple blockchains that are going to interconnect with one another. Now, there have been other projects out there that have possibly launched their sidechains. I think Vericoin has a sidechain that they release and a whole bunch of other ones. But we have been ensuring that IO Coin's chain was able to do the things that we wanted the chain to do. And every day we feel more comfortable that we are at a place where the IO Coin blockchain has gotten to the point where it's serving the purpose that we said from the beginning, which is to be a registrar. That does not mean that we will stop developing the chain. There's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be done right now. We're currently working on the voting and balloting mechanism to allow our community to vote on the things that we want to do, and I'm talking about as a community, or we may not want to do. One of those things that we talked about recently was masternodes. When I went to New York, I basically presented the option for our community so that we could add masternodes to the IO Coin chain. Do I believe in masternodes or not? It's not a question that people ask me, but it's not about if I believe or I don't believe. It's about if the community as a whole wants the masternodes or not. So currently, we did not reach consensus. We basically started a conversation around masternodes. Some people, wanted one thing, other people wanted different things, and that's what happens when we have a whole lot of people trying to maybe think about what's the best way to move forward. Masternodes is just another way of securing the chain, but also at times it allows the chain to sync up a little bit faster between nodes, or give the ability to send faster transactions, because there are, I will kind of call it maybe centralized nodes. Although we had a different idea. So for example, you could have a company like OVH or Ocean Digital basically have your node, and there, with a certain amount of coins, if you store them, that said masternode will probably generate a higher reward. But for that, they're gonna basically give the ability to the chain to have like a super node, where the chain will find that node and it would use that node to confirm transactions faster, and the coins will probably move a little bit faster. Well, we're talking about milliseconds right now, because IOC is so fast. I mean, right now, if you have your wallet completely synced and you send IOC from A to B, that send is almost instantly. I'm going to just say it like that because some people may have a little bit of lag on their computer, or maybe they have a VPN, so I'm not going to say instantly, right? Because I want to be truthful. But almost instantly. So the coins transfer, and then once the coin goes out, our confirmation times go from 16 seconds, 30 seconds to a minute. It all depends. And that's where the masternodes could possibly come in and maybe aid in the confirmation times. So they could possibly go down and be solid at 16 seconds instead of being at maybe 30 seconds, 16 seconds, or possibly 60 seconds. It all depends if the nodes are completely, in sync, close to the person that generated the original transaction. Sorry that I'm going this fast, but I'm just trying to get all this information out. So, yeah, I mean, masternodes could be a possibility. Now, do I believe in them? Like I said before, I would say 50-50. I truly believe in people having their wallet in a completely independent node at their home, or at one place where that node, it's not living in a centralized server. Let's just put it like that, from a company. Why am I saying that? Well, if you have 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, 100 people having nodes in OVH, and if you go to Dash, and again, I'm not throwing shade at them, but I'm just saying, you're going to find possibly 100 people having their nodes, all of them, in OVH, which is a company and let's say that cluster goes down, then there could be some possibilities of some downtime of that, that server, right? Now, that doesn't mean that their chain is going to go down. It just means that that cluster with all those nodes, if they have an outage, could potentially go down. So we rather have people having their nodes, their wallets in their homes or their own, let's say server at their home and having a fresh IP. It makes it even more difficult for anybody to try to mess around with the chain. So, that's our view, but it's not up to us. It's up to the community. So this will probably be something that the community will want to vote on as time goes by. So talking about Chameleon, which is a question that they asked, and we held up on that. And again, I said, because we wanted to make sure that IOC, the main chain, was in a good state. The Chameleon chain would basically be the chain that would hold our smart contracts, okay? And that chain will basically interact with IO coin, and then that will also bring a bridge. That bridge capability, that's the way we call it. It's a two-way peg, bridge capability. We can also peg it to Bitcoin, and then that would bring the decentralized exchange. So that entire economy is one of the things we thought about for a very long time. But the way we think about it is like this. We have a chain that handles, our registrations, our documents, and all of that stuff. Then we can have a chain that does our smart contracts where people can do their own, I would say color coins or whatever the case may be. But, and this is the big but, and this is the important thing. If you guys step back from the hoopla and all the hype that's going on, let's step back 1 second and let's look into Ethereum, for example. What have we seen in the past couple of years? What we've seen is attacks on smart contracts. Why? Because the handling of the smart contract, when a developer does it, could be a third party because it's not, the Ethereum developers that are making that said smart contract. At sometimes they're just not secure. They attack those smart contracts and people end up losing tokens. They end up losing value, which could be equal to fiat. And a lot of people have lost millions and possibly billions of dollars right now if we add it all together. So our concern has been in the handling of the smart contracts. And we have been developing on our spare time a way to handle these contracts where they're not, let's just say, able to be changed, able to be tweaked around. Okay, so that if somebody launches a smart contract, there is a capability within the smart contract that you won't be able to change the state of that contract. Because one of the things, and there's a video that ran around, was Vitalik saying, in Ethereum, you have a contract, but they can change the state of the contract by, changing the handling. And when I say that, it basically means that somebody can come in and maybe possibly change that state of the contract. When you have a contract, the state of the contract should not be able to be changed because then there's no contract. A contract is a contract and is a valid contract in courts. If you can't have a contract in the middle of the contract, have things change around because then it's not a valid contract. And a lot of people believe that those smart contracts were just solid. And to use an example, the DAO, a lot of people took their Ethereum, sent it to the DAO, which was then going to invest those Ethereums to different projects, and then they were going to get some type of, let's just say, some percentage of whatever those people that got the Ethereum to do their startup company would then give back, right? But as soon as everybody put their Ethereum into that DAO contract, well, someone came in, they call it a hacker, let's just say, I don't believe that, but whatever. And all the Ethereums were basically in trouble. They were able to put them into a smaller contract, child, whatever they wanted to call it at the time. That created a big mess. A lot of people, Ethereums were in trouble. And then that's how Ethereum Classic was born because it was a mess. And basically they had to come up with a way of trying to salvage those Ethereum. I mean, it was a mess. And from that point onto today, we've seen problems with parity, which is another issue that they have with their wallet, or people putting in their private keys on unsecure links, because basically some of those links that would look like my Ethereum wallet website, those places at times were not the original my Ethereum or wallet or ETH wallet website where people would go, or HD wallet where they would go and put up their private keys. And they were putting the private keys in hackers' websites. So all this mess that we've been seeing, it's not a bad thing that we haven't released Chameleon. It's actually a very intelligent thing. We just been sitting back and looking at this mess that these people have been doing. In the meantime, we've been working on IOC, and it's been working great. So what happens when those things happen? People learn. People learn from other people's mistakes. It makes us stronger, so that when we launch our Chameleon sidechain, we are going to launch it in such a way that it's going to have all the checks and balances and the security that was not there for a whole bunch of all these projects that are out there right now. So that's to come, but we have a couple of things to do in the IOCoin blockchain, like I said, which is the balloting mechanism, so that people are able to vote on the things that we want to do moving forward. And then the group chat that a lot of people may want. It's time for us to move away from Telegram. I mean, it's not that I don't like Telegram, but we have a messaging capabilities in our chain. So if we believe in the things that we have built, it's time to move and utilize the things that we have built. Why are we going to use Telegram? We could use the IOCoin blockchain. So in order for us to do that, we have to implement group chat so that we can have our community going in there and chatting and voting. And the next thing you know, we are actually creating our own economy, our own, I don't want to use Facebook because it's not a Facebook, but it's basically a platform, right? Where we can all communicate, send contracts to each other. And that's basically our has been our idea from day one. And it's needed. It's needed that we have a blockchain that has all those capabilities. So again, the balloting, that will come with our Aurora. It's going to be in beta, our first launch, so we can try it out, tweak it out, make sure that it's good. And then after that, we're going to go to group chat, and that's going to be amazing. And I'm talking about encrypted group chat, right? I'm not talking about when you're chatting, this information that you're writing is actually going to a centralized server where people can look at it and kind of like poke at it, or maybe possibly give it up to someone else. Everybody's information is locked up into their own private keys and exchanged in tunnels. And I've talked about that in the past. If you guys want to learn more about what I just said, you guys can go to our website. And right here, you guys can go to the NY IOC Dev Team Keynote. You can click on the YouTube. And if you're the community, one of our community members, go ahead and share our videos. We did an amazing presentation and keynote in New York City. That was back in June. We presented a whole bunch of things that I'll go into them later. But today's an AMA, so I want to make sure I answer all these questions. So let me go to the next question if I see one. 1 second, guys. I'm reading. Let's see. So the next question. What makes IOC so special? What makes this blockchain unique? Thank you for your answer. That was Mabo. Well, hopefully all the things that I just said answer your question, but I'll dig into it a little bit more. So like I said before, we're not a token. We're actually a coin, and that coin has its own blockchain. And if people, when everything started, we were talking about decentralize this, decentralize that. We have been one of the development teams that have stayed true, completely true to the word decentralized when we're talking about it. And it's kind of like, I'm amazed that today, people are kind of like using more server. It's all good if they want to do that. But if we talked about a truly decentralized blockchain, this is what IOCoin is. The coin has a blockchain, and all the wallets are interconnected with one another, creating this blockchain. And within that blockchain, we are able to do all the things that I just said before. Register names, then peg a document to it. You could send it, transfer it to someone else. You can then do messaging with it. And now we're going to be doing ballots, and then we're going to do group messaging. And that creates what we said from day one, a platform. So we believe that right there, it's an amazing thing. And talking about, the rest of the other projects that are out there, we may not have the market cap. And again, it may be because we're not chilling out there. We're not trying to go out there and hype and lie. And I'm going to say lie because it's true. There's a whole bunch of marketing stuff that's out there just lying to people. Hey, come buy this token from us. We're going to give you this, and just hang on. Yeah, people go, they trade the coins, but then nothing really comes about the blockchain. Nothing really comes about the token being built. I mean, if people are releasing tokens on the actual Ethereum blockchain, they just don't have a blockchain. I mean, and I'm talking about that particular token. They have the Ethereum blockchain, but in order for them to have a blockchain, they have to have a launch like IOCoin, where you have, a coin that's actually mined, when it was launched, no pre-mine. The development team doesn't hold anything. Everybody just had to go out there and mine the coin or get it from someone else, buy it from someone else. That's the way we started. And all you guys have to do, if anybody has any questions, is you guys just have to go to the IOCoin Block Explorer. We're on block 1,934,000. And anybody can go back to day one and look at all the stuff that we've been doing within its own, blockchain, all the transactions. There hasn't been a day where our blockchain has been down, Our blockchain has been consistently solid since day one. So I'm going to go to the next question. Let's see if we have another one. How many people are actively working full-time at IO right now? Well, first of all, IO is not a company. So again, I just want to let everybody know we are not a company. We're not a group of people, again, that ask for money or ask for Bitcoin in order to develop this blockchain. We are a community of developers, of enthusiasts that came in and believed in one thing, a proof of stake blockchain, okay, that has been developed, in the past 4 years by a whole bunch of different developers. And I said it earlier, even Brad4 at times, had helped us, with giving us code. Currently, we have Derek, I believe, ICO Crypto. We have TK right now. We got TK working on all of our graphics. We have Richard Grown that's working all of our websites, and I can go on and on and on. We don't like to, at times, talk about this particular names because it makes it feel to people or understand to people that it's only those people that are working on it. It could be that, anybody from any community, we may ask a question and they go into our GitHub and they give us some ideas on how to do a certain thing, or they do it themselves, if they do a pull request. So that's the answer to that question. Okay, Usagi Panzer and Star IO. That's the next question. Well, in New York, we announced 2 games, and it's right there, Usagi Panzer and Star IO. I think that there was a video that was released by the people from Switching Brains, but the latest update that I have is that the wallet, it's able to basically sync up with the game, and you can insert the IO coin. The game starts. And they showed us a beta of the Usagi Panzer pretty much shooting us stuff. So I'm going to ask the people at Switching Brains to see if they could update their community, possibly in about a week or two, so that they can put it together with a little video so that you guys can see the progress of the game. But I know it's coming along nice, and I can't wait to play it. That game will work with IOCoin, and at some point, when I spoke to the Switching Brains team, they will be putting it out for iOS and Android. So that will be one of the first games that are, synchronizing with the IOCoin blockchain. So that's something good to see. The people at Switching Brains are also the ones that are doing Star IO. They wanted to do Usagi Panzer first because they wanted to show the community that building these games, utilizing the Alcoin blockchain, it is a possibility, and it actually works before they would launch the big intergalactic game. So I'm looking forward to it. They do have a website. Again, you guys can go to our website and check it out. If you guys have any questions for Switching Brains, some of the devs are in the IOCoin, I believe, Telegram channel, and you guys can post some questions to them, and we're looking forward to seeing them. Let's see if there's any other question. Okay, yeah, Matt. So the ADM ecosystem. So as you guys know, I was one of the developers for IOCoin, but I'm not the only one. And I had an idea back in 2014 on how we could potentially use a blockchain that had a register. And as you all know, we are at a point where the chain, as I said before, actually does these things. But there is no point in the world right now, or any company right now, that is actually utilizing the blockchain. We have had conversations throughout the years, and Richard could possibly, I hope, at some point could update the community on the advances that he has done with the conversations that he has had with different companies that have said to him, hey, look, we would like to use the blockchain. Some companies are still looking at it. Some companies are asking still, they're still asking questions. But I didn't want to wait for companies, So I had this idea, and we couldn't talk about it because there was a patent involved with the idea. So we worked on it. And when I say we, is me and a team of developers. We worked on this idea. And it was basically an ADM ecosystem, as we call it. So we worked on it, and we put together a provisional patent, which is already sent in. So we are patent pending for the ADM ecosystem. I don't want to talk about the ADM ecosystem in this video because we're talking about IOCoin. And the ADM ecosystem is a company that will utilize this public blockchain as is. So that video would probably be best for another time where the ADM ecosystem can come in and talk, but I can generalize what it is all about. And I'm going to see if I can pull it out. 1 second, guys. All right, so I'm gonna just say that you guys didn't hear anything. So I'm going to start again. The ADM, the audio is back. So the ADM ecosystem, guys, and we were talking about this right now. It's a separate, it's a company, okay? The ADM's ecosystem is a company. It's an LLC, and I happen to be one of the people that are going to be in charge of the ADM ecosystems company. We basically, for a while now, have come up with this new idea. This is not an ATM. This is an ADM, automated decentralized machine. It will allow people to basically register contracts. And when I say register, it basically means to make a contract, to sell a car, maybe a home. They could do it at their comfort of their home on their website. But that machine will interconnect, so someone can go there, put their fingerprint in there to make sure that that's the right person. They're already been registered, and they can there pay for a contract for services, or they can actually store a copyright. They maybe an image that they took and they want to put there. They want to have a timestamp on their of their picture, and all those confirmations will happen with the IOCoin public blockchain. So the people that are staking IOCoin are going to be the ones that are confirming the transactions for the machine, just like it will be for the Uzagi Panzer game and the Star IO game and any other application, the app that will live, utilizing the IOCoin blockchain. So the machine is scheduled to be launched next year if we're on schedule. Right now, we're currently working on our patent because we did a provisional patent, and that gives us a year to do our patent, and so we're working on that patent. We're going to be submitting our patent, and hopefully we'll be patent pending this year on top of the provisional patent that we have. And then we're hoping to launch next year at some point, our beta launch. And, we have a manufacturer. They already are ready to build the machines, and we haven't placed the order. So we're hoping to place this order at some point. Hopefully, it will probably be next year that we'll place the order, because this year we're handling all the patent stuff. And then once we get the machines, the ADM ecosystem is going to have its own company. It's going to have their own developers, and I'll be there. overseeing everything that will be happening with the ADM ecosystem. We're going to be working on the UI for the ADM ecosystem and the backend, which is basically going to allow the machine to communicate with the IOCoin blockchain and the Chameleon blockchain. Chameleon will handle all the smart contracts for the ADM ecosystem, and all the registration stuff, the documentation stuff will be handled by the IOCoin blockchain. So the stakers, people that are confirming transactions on IOCoin, will get their regular, transaction fee. So if you are confirming transactions on IOCoin, you will get your transaction fee from any of the transactions that happen within the ADM ecosystem. So that's great. That's great for the blockchain, and that's great for our users in the IOCoin thing. But I just want to make sure that you guys separate things, okay? Because ADM does not own IOCoin, and IOCoin does not own ADM. IOCoin is a coin, a cryptocurrency, and the IOCoin blockchain is the blockchain that the coin lives in, and the IOCoin blockchain has multiple features. It's like an application. It's an application-based blockchain. And then there are going to be companies that are going to be startups, and they're going to use the blockchain and the cryptocurrency to confirm those transactions within their application, the app, or it could be, in our case, a machine. So we're just one of many ideas that are going to be coming out, and companies that are going to be utilizing the IOCoin blockchain. But we want to be one of the first. We didn't want to wait. This was our idea, my idea, I guess, from way back. And I can't wait to see this in the real world, because then we're going to have something that's going to use the IOCoin blockchain for real. And that's what's all about. And I said it in New York. It's like, why are these blockchains being built, and in many cases the regular Joe can't use anything or an application or a game? So those dev teams that are working on real world applications or things that could be used in the real world, kudos to you guys. So we're going to be on that boat. We want to be one of the ones that have this system out first. That's why we had to keep it kind of quiet, because there were patents, and there's still patents that are being done for everything that we're doing with the ADM. So that's moving along real well, and we're looking forward to showing the IOCoin community all the capabilities of the ADM ecosystem, possibly next year. So we're looking forward to that. Let me see if there's any other questions, and sorry about that, the audio cut out. It wasn't my intention. Oh, yeah. Okay, TK. So, I was invited to San Francisco, been invited to Dubai. There are some scheduling conflicts. I believe that I'll be able to make San Francisco a possibility. That's going to be in October. The reason is that we have San Francisco and Dubai happening. I think it's the 27, 28 Dubai, and then the 29th is San Francisco. So it will be like almost impossible for me to make it from Dubai to San Francisco within 24 hours and able to get on stage. So in the next couple of weeks, I will be trying to make my mind up as to which one is going to be the better one for all of us. As of right now, I believe it's San Francisco, just because it's closer, obviously in the same country, in the United States, and it will be more accessible for me. And making sure that I'm also back, in town to do the things that I got to do in development. It could be that we send Richard out to Dubai, so that's a possibility. So we're looking into that and see if we can do that. Okay, I'm gonna wait for any other questions that could come in. Unfortunately, guys, I feel really sorry that the sound went out. I don't know if maybe possibly I could edit this, or I'll probably keep it up for a while. Maybe I'll do a separate video. So let me get into what we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, because this has been a long AMA. So we're currently working on Aurora. Aurora is going to come in with the voting mechanism for the wallet. It will be beta, so we're going to be testing it, and then we'll go into full launch of the voting mechanism. After that, we have the group chat, and then we have to start working on Chameleon. So that's pretty much the plan. Now remember, when we go work on Chameleon, that does not mean that we're stopping to work on IOC. We're going to be working on both of things, because IOC has a whole bunch of other things that need to be done on that chain. And then we have the ADM ecosystem, which will be a separate company that has nothing to do. Again, the ADM is not a company that owns IOCoin, or IOCoin owns ADM. They're separate things. IOCoin is the public blockchain. ADM is a company that I built to use the IOCoin blockchain. So I believe that this year it's going to be a very good year for IOCoin and all the things that we're going to do within the group chat and the voting mechanism. But we're going to try our best to see if we can get Chameleon in this year. It's been pushed and pushed. Like I said before, when we were talking about Ethereum, we just didn't feel that it was the right time. There was a mechanism that we wanted to put in place to handle the smart contracts in a certain way so that they wouldn't be changed around, like parameters, so that once a smart contract is launched, it doesn't, it wouldn't give the possibility to a hacker to change the state of the contract. So hopefully, we'll get to that if we can this year. We want to fit it in, but there's a lot on the table, and we're swimming as fast as we can to get all this stuff out to you guys. I'm gonna go back to our website. So to our community, I know that there's an awareness campaign that's happening. I'm really happy that you guys are working really hard on that. As long as you guys want me to do this AMAs and talk for the community, I'll be more than happy to do so. But I will invite any other member of the community that's out there that wants to do any video on IOC. Please feel free to do it. Maybe you want to do a video showing off our wallet, how it works, how it sends the coins, how fast it sends them, the messaging capability. If you're out there listening to me, hey, by all means, get those videos out there, or reach out to us if you don't know how to do it. There is a program called OBS, which is a program that we're using to launch this webcast. You guys can utilize OBS, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. If you guys want to do it, we'll be more than happy to help you out on doing those things. You don't need anybody's approval to do those videos, okay? So that's number one. But I know that the community is doing all this awareness campaigns, and I'm just really happy that you guys are stepping up to the plate. And remember, we are all in this together. Nobody's here above anybody. We're all together. It's a public blockchain, and we're just looking after the best well-being of the chain. With that, let me see. I just want to say that I'm extremely happy that after 4 years, July 23rd, 2014, to today, 4 years. I mean, if you ask me, what was I thinking at the time? I was just thinking about having a chain that could have usernames so that it wouldn't be difficult for people to send coins. And today, what do I think for that could happen in 4 years? Don't hold me to it, but because I certainly don't know, but my best wishes for IOCoin in the next 4 years is that, there is a company like the ADM ecosystem that is actually using the blockchain, in the real world applications. I mean, that would be a dream come true, because the whole point is to put these blockchains to use in the real world, that regular folks, are actually messaging within the blockchain itself. That we have our group chat up, that people are actually storing their documents. They're having, IoTs, which is, the Internet of Things. It could be a certain unit that's actually storing some important data on this chain. I mean, those are the things that I'm looking forward to seeing. And this is regardless of the price and the action of trading. That's a completely separate subject. That I myself, I'm not a good person to go to for that, because I've said it all along. We are developers, we're geeks. We're going to talk about the capabilities of the chain, and what can be done with this blockchain. And today, after 4 years, we can report to our community that here, it's all here. Identity storage, legal documents, encrypted messaging, 4 megabyte blocks. I mean, I haven't even gone into that. 4 megabyte blocks. Bitcoin has a 1 megabyte block. And for us to have 4 megabyte blocks, look, we're not even talking about it that loud. It's there. It's already there. Obviously, the blocks are not being filled currently, but it means that we're ready for the future. 4 megabyte blocks is a sweet spot that we decided on for a long time, and it's able to handle the data, and it's able to handle more transactions per block than a whole bunch of other blockchains that are out there. So you know what? We're quietly over here doing our thing, and it makes me really proud to say that it's working, it's functioning, it's working right now. And we have Pos Cipher. Oh, by the way, graduated staking. We haven't talked about that, which was what we set out to do prior to talking about masternodes. That's also going to come. And I'll do another video on graduated staking because it deserves its own video. But today, 4 years later, I'm extremely happy and to say that IO coin is living. It doesn't really matter. I mean, at the end of the day, if the volume is there or not, that's for the traders. And that, if anybody in the community is into trading IOC, please go out there, do a video, talk about TA, talk about, if IO coin is a good buy, not, that's for somebody that does that for a living, that's a trader. But for me, what I got to report on is that we are alive no matter what. The blockchain is working. People are synchronizing. They're sending transactions. And we are about to put this blockchain to use. That's our goal. To have this blockchain being utilized in the real world by real things like gaming, the ADM ecosystem, or any other company that may want to store identity storage. They want to do documents. They may want to do coupons. They may want to do who knows what. I know, again, that Richard has been in talks with different companies to do different things. We'll see what Richard comes up with. But today, again, I'm reporting the IOCoin blockchain has been solid 4 years. No downtime, no hack, no 51% attack. And we're solid, and we're moving forward. So I want to thank the community for being with me today. I apologize for the sound being down. I'm going to try to see if there's any way of editing that, or at least I'm going to try to put like a little banner there that says, hey, in minute, so we lost sound, so please forward. And then I'll do another video. To focus on certain areas of IO coin. So go ahead and tell me in the community if you want me to do a video on let's say stealth addresses. I haven't even talked about that all this time. Guys, we have stealth addresses. You can send something private to someone else within the blockchain, within the wallet. So today you can generate a stealth address, a receiving address, and then you can send within the section of right here. It's called shade payment. You go to shade payment and you send somebody else a payment, and that's a stealth transaction. There's so many things in this coin. Sometimes, man, I get excited about all the other things that are happening, and I forget to talk about those little things that are very important. So again, if you guys want me to do a video on the different sections, features, or something, I'll be more than happy to do it. But today was just an AMA with the community, just to talk about the last 4 years and talk about what we have done and answer some questions. So with that said, I want to thank TK. I want to thank Matt for all the hard work that he's doing. As always, Derek Hatton, our lead developer, ICO Crypto, that's out there, myself, Wiz, Richard, Sam, everybody, Swiss, ICO Swiss. I know it's out there helping hard. ICO Crypto Suave. I mean, I can go on and on and on. All the people that are in the community just helping out. Let me see if they put anything on Telegram for me to answer. Joris. Shout out to Joris. Who else? Oh, man. Alpha Pen. I hope I said it right. So anyways, thank you guys for being here. I'll look forward to doing this again with you guys. I'm going to leave now for the day. It was a pleasure to do it. And again, 4 years IOC, baby. That's 4 years strong. That's something. That's a badge of honor for all of you guys staying strong with the community. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.